style is not in service at this time.
Welcome to Spotlight on the Arts. I'm Patrick Cristiano, your host, the publisher of TheaterLife.com, a website for theater buffs covering everything theater. And we're coming to you from the LTV studio in Wainscott, where I have an extraordinarily special guest, a theater producer, my new friend, Barbara Freitag. Barbara, welcome.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
It's been a joy talking to you about all your projects that you have going on. And you have so much in your pocketbook that you're dealing with right now. You have Mrs. Doubtfire,
right,
which is a new musical that hasn't opened, that was in previews just before the pandemic, and it had to shut down, and it's going to come back. We have an opening date.
Right.
Mrs. Doubtfire is coming back October 21st is going to start previews, and December 1st is an opening.
Right.
And we have a really special treat because the cast, because they didn't get to do a B-roll, they did a really cool segment with all the creators, and we're going to save it to the end of the show and give it to the audience.
It gives you the chills.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And you have Jagged Little Pill.
Correct.
Which opened, and I got to see it. We have the program right here.
Right.
An extraordinary musical based on Alanis Morissette's music.
Right.
And with a new book. And that reopens October 21st. And then you also are in Thoughts of a Colored Man.
Right.
Which is a new play that's going to open October 31st and begin previews October 1st.
It was the first marquee that went up at the Golden Theater of new shows
how
since
cool.
the pandemic. And the pandemic was still going on when Thoughts of a Colored Man, when the marquee went up.
So that actually went up too before the pandemic, but it didn't get to go
Not
into
before
production.
the pandemic. The pandemic was
Oh, it's the
going
first
on.
one that went up right
It was the first one that went. The first one that went up
How
when
exciting.
you were allowed to announce that plays
Announce
were
the show.
coming.
How cool.
Yeah, excellent.
So let's start, because I want to talk about Jagged Little Pill because it did open already, and we have some really cool B-roll from Jagged Little Pill. And the first one we have is Forgiven, which closes the first act of the show. Can we have that, please? I love this music. I really do, Barbara. You know, when I had seen the show originally, I wasn't familiar with Alanis Morissette's music, and I thought it was incredible.
I had a similar thing as you because I didn't know the music at all, and I listened to the album as soon as I decided that I liked the show so much, wanted to become a producer on it, and I loved it. I listened to it all the time. Now, of course, the regular album, the Broadway album is out.
And let's have another one of this music. We have another song from the show. These are just teasers, though, people, so you're getting just a taste of it. You'll have to come see the show.
I'm free, but I'm focused. I'm green, but I'm wise. I'm hard, but I'm friendly, baby. I'm sad, but I'm laughing. I'm brave, but I'm chicken shit. I'm sick, but I'm pretty, baby. And what it all boils down to is that no one's really got it figured out just yet. But I've got one hand in my pocket, and the other one is playing the piano.
That is an extraordinary cast. I mean, what a super full production
Fantastic.
this is, huh?
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, it's really
Very
exciting.
exciting.
It was electric in the theater. You know, when I saw these clips, it just made my mouth water to be back in the theater.
Me too. I have exactly the same feeling. I can't wait.
And so let's see the last one, because we don't have much time to cover everything I want to talk about. You've got so much going on.
Okay.
So the last one is the overture.
Diane Paul's directed it.
She's
yeah.
phenomenal. Everything she's done
Yeah.
has been just mind-boggling. You have produced 46, close to 50 shows.
It's hard to believe.
And you won how many Tony Awards?
6 or 7, I'm
6
not
or
sure.
7. And what drew you to this one initially?
Well, my friend Melissa Jones, who's a co-producer with me on it, she brought a video. I didn't see it get to go to Boston, but my assistant actually saw it in Boston and said, "I love it so much, you've got to definitely do
Sarah,
it."
your assistant?
Sarah, my assistant. And my friend brought a video to my apartment, and she played it, and I was just captivated by it. I knew I wanted it. Just from, I didn't have to see people in reality. The video was enough. And it's done very well, thank God.
It's a fabulous
Yeah.
show. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, but I don't know why somehow it slipped through my radar, and I wasn't familiar with this album at all. So the theater was a brand new introduction to me in a way.
Right. I wasn't familiar with the album
So you and I
either.
share the same thing about
Right,
that anyway. So,
right.
Now, Mrs. Doubtfire, that
Yes.
started previews just before the pandemic.
I went to the dress rehearsal, and I went to 2 previews right before, and then Wednesday night, I was the last preview I went to, and the pandemic was Thursday. Everything was closed. And I remember getting into the very crowded elevator in the Stephen Sondheim Theater and thinking, gosh, maybe it's not such a good idea to get into this elevator with all these people people weren't wearing masks or anything at that point.
Right, I know.
But then just boom, everything closed.
And nobody anticipated any of it. It's
No one had a clue what was coming. And first it was going to be 2 weeks that we would be closed, then it would be a month that we would be closed. Whoever imagined that it would be 14 months
Nobody.
of Black Broadway.
Well, we're opening up again now.
And everyone is so excited.
I am excited.
Really, I'm excited.
I've been back to the theater already. I saw Blindness, and we saw a play, Tennessee Rising, at the Cell on 23rd Street. Little shows that are opening up all around with restricted things. Nothing on Broadway yet.
Right,
So this will be
right.
the first of the Broadway. But now, tell us about this other show that you're doing, the Thoughts of a Colored Man.
Thoughts of a Colored
And
Man.
that you're an investor in.
I'm an investor in Thoughts of a Colored Man. And it's the story of, I think, 5 or 6 colored men, which is interesting that you call it colored men because that's not used so much these days, the word colored. But the colored men are named Melancholy, Happiness, Depression. They're named representing what they are in the story. And it's one day in the life of 5 colored men who live in what's becoming a very gentrified area of Brooklyn. The men are going along, living their life, and they're not so sure that they want it to be gentrified. But it's a very interesting story of all different, they all have different personalities, and it's very interesting, and it's just the start of diversity on Broadway, because one of the problems has been that they think that it's just not diverse enough.
Well, it isn't.
Right, that's true. That's true.
So how did this particular show come to you?
This show came to me through a friend of mine.
Okay. And have you seen it already?
I haven't seen
You've read
it.
it though.
I read it, and I think that I saw some clips on television of it. But my friend was very high on it, someone who's been very supportive of me. And I wanted to do it because I thought, I liked the idea that it was going to be one of the first ones, the first new plays. And I like plays a lot as much as I like musical. I've produced both
You produced some
musicals.
dynamite plays. My favorite play is The Goat, or Who Was Sylvia, by Edward Albee. And it's my favorite Edward Albee play, and I adored it. Absolutely
It was
adored
controversial, to say the least, but it was
A
really
little
good.
bit. But it was really about love.
It was really about love, exactly. It was a beautiful play.
I thought it was stunning, absolutely stunning. Do you remember your first show that you produced?
The first show that I produced was The Drowsy Chaperone, which remains one of my most favorite shows ever.
It's a fun show, too.
It's a brilliant show, and I remember going to the meetings and having the discussions with Casey Nicolau, the director, about having people come out of a refrigerator into the room of this man in the chair who had a very sad kind of lonely life, but he loved old musicals, and he brought this musical to life in his apartment, and just brilliant show. I'm waiting anxiously for the revival.
Yeah, it was excitingly creative. It really was.
Right, very.
What was your motivation to produce?
Well, it started out that I invested in a couple of shows, and I got to know a little bit about what was going on in the background of the shows, not just putting money in and seeing a show appear on stage, involved in the bringing of it to birth. And I thought that would be a lot more fun than just putting your money into something
Absolutely.
and forgetting about it. And I just love it so much. And I just have one criteria. I don't care if it's a musical. I don't care if it's a play. I really want something that isn't cheesy in any way. It's a strange thing to say. But I have it's important to me that the play, it doesn't have to be a money winner, but that it says something to me and that it's well written and well done.
Well, I want to just recap real quickly about the dates that these things are opening, because the Jagged Little Pill is going to be at the Broadhurst Theater, and it opens October 21st, and you can go to Telecharge to get tickets. And Mrs. Doubtfire tickets are available on Telecharge as well. It's at the Stephen Sondheim Theater, and it opens October 21st.
Previews October 21st.
Again, October 21st. Opens December 5th. Thank you.
2 days before my birthday.
As you would remember that one, right?
Right.
And Thoughts of a Colored Man is at the John Golden Theater. And again, as you told us, it was the first show to put up its marquee.
Right.
And it opens October 31st. Now, there's something else that you're involved in that you're really excited to talk about. It's called the Theater Channel. It's
The Theater Cafe.
Theater Cafe. It's an
Right.
on-demand streaming thing that's shot.
It's an on-demand streaming thing. We're partnered with Playbill. It's what we call the MTV of musical theater. It's all streaming, and it's 10 episodes. It's going to be 6 have been filmed so far. It's filmed in London. 10 episodes. Each one has about 6 or 8 songs, and they're themed. In other words, it could be showstoppers, it could be 11 o'clock numbers, it could be comedic songs, and it is so beautifully produced that I would never even want to do anything like that, but as soon as I saw it, it's just beautifully done. And now, as the pandemic is ending, in London as well as here, the things have been filmed in London during the pandemic. Now they're filmed in London, but there are other people not just one person singing, but other people singing. And the last one that I saw was a chorus line is one of them with the original choreography, and Antonio Banderas, who's going to be starring in it, in a Spanish version.
He is?
Yes.
When? Where?
It's outside. It's like Shakespeare in the Park.
How cool.
It's the Shakespeare in the Park of London. And it's the original choreography of a chorus line. It's breathtaking. And I think people can get it on theater.com, I think.
And Stephen Schwartz is going to do a segment.
Yes.
The
Going to have a
creator of
segment
Wicked.
on Stephen Schwartz songs.
It's all his songs. He's going to go to London to do it? That's
Well, he's
cool.
going to have the actor. Yeah, I think he's going to go to London to do
Oh,
it.
how wonderful.
Yeah.
Stephen's wonderful, too. Now, how long are each episode?
Each episode is about maybe 40 minutes to an hour. 7 or 8 songs.
And people can sign up for all of them or individually? How does that work?
You can sign up individually or all of them. You pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is really to sell it all over the world because people aren't getting want musicals all over.
Mm-hmm.
And so far there's 7 ready. But you can get it on streaming.
And the other ones are in post. They're working on them. You have.
They're working on them.
They have them all
Yeah.
set up. What they're going to be doing. Then.
They know exactly what they're going to be doing. They're going to do a Rodgers and Hammerstein, all Rodgers and Hammerstein songs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing Carousel in the park.
In the park, that's
yeah.
Too.
I think because my feeling is that streaming is not gone. In other words, we had no streaming before.
I agree with you. Once they've started, it's a hard way not to. People want to do it.
They're not always great.
They're not always great.
This one happens to be great, if I have to say so myself. But people are doing it. They can see things that they couldn't see before. A lot of people can't get out, and I think that it's going to be bigger streaming.
I think it's going to stay around too. I don't think it's dissipated yet. I think we're going to keep streaming a little bit because we got used to it a little bit, and I think people like it, even though I don't particularly care for it unless it's really well done.
I agree with you totally. I have that same feeling. I thought that I would always hate it, and this particular one, the Theater Cafe, when I saw it, it just blew me away because the segments are so well produced.
So when you see something like that that's well done out of a medium that isn't always so well done, it kind of gives you a motivation. Say, oh, we can make this medium work better than people have been doing it.
Exactly. I really didn't want to. I didn't even want to find out about it. But the person who's producing it called me and said, just watch it. And it just, I couldn't get over how good it was.
It's if we come to things with an open mind, things can change.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to mention one more show.
Go ahead.
It's A Face in the Crowd.
Oh, yes.
It's fashioned after.
A Face in the Crowd is based on a movie.
With Andy Griffith.
Andy Griffith was dynamite in this movie.
Andy Griffith was amazing. And Patricia Neal. This is going to be a musical. Elvis Costello was writing the music for it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He's written some amazing songs, some fantastic songs.
You know, I have a clip we want to show of Mrs. Doubtfire at the end that the creators
Okay,
put
I'm
together.
so excited
we have
about
about 3 minutes to talk about Mrs. Doubtfire before we show the clip. Mrs. Doubtfire, we all know, was this wonderful movie with Robin Williams.
And you would think that it could never be translated to the stage because a lot of times movies don't do so well on stage, musicals. But it happens that Rob McClure is the consummate actor and singer and comedian, and he plays the Robin Williams role. And it is so good. It is so heartfelt. The music is fantastic. And I can't get over how good it is. I saw it 3 times before the pandemic, and I was so sorry and so excited that it's coming back so quickly. When you see Rob McClure, in other words, it's not that easy for me to laugh at things. I have a good sense of humor, but I don't laugh.
I'm the same.
Are you?
Yeah.
But I was hysterical in this. That's how funny it is.
Well, I can't wait to see it because I love the movie. And I love the heart behind that movie, too.
There's so much heart behind it.
Now, so the creatives made this during the pandemic because they didn't get to do a B-roll. They made this with all that introduces you kind of to the whole cast. Let's have it.
Hi, everybody. It is crazy to think that it has been a year since I have seen my Mrs. Doubtfire Broadway family. On March 12th, 2020, after just 3 previews of our show, Broadway, like most of the world, was shut down. And several weeks later, the cast and crew gathered virtually on a new thing called Zoom to reunite and celebrate our show by singing the finale, a song called As Long as There Is Love. Well, now a year later, after profound loss and sacrifice by so many, the lyrics of this song mean more to me than I could have ever imagined. It's all about redefining family, and when you are separated from those that you consider family, just how far you'd go to be with them again.
When your world is getting cold and your story's getting old, you can feel and you will like you've lost control. Just remember what you got, 'cause you really got a lot. If you start with a heart in the right spot. Wherever you go, whatever you do, the goodness will surely follow you, as long as there is love. Whatever you dream, whatever you choose, whatever the end or can you lose, as long as there is love.
And when life has got you down and your smile becomes a frown,
Well, never fret, you can bet it will turn around. So when the sun has slipped away and your skies have turned to gray, well, over time you will find it'll be okay. Wherever you go, whatever you do, a goodness will surely follow you, as long as there is love. Whatever you dream, whatever you choose, whatever the end, how can you lose, as long as there is love. Wherever you go, whatever you do, a goodness will surely follow you, as long as there is love. Whatever you dream, whatever you choose, whatever the end, how can you lose, as long as there is love. Yeah, love will make it better. As long as there is love.
better now, better forever.
As long as there is love.
Oh, that was a beautiful, beautiful way for the cast to show the creatives to introduce themselves and to see everybody. And I love what you just shared with me. Barbara just shared with me that whenever she gets in a cranky mood, she plays this and it brings her up.
And it does. It really does. It's such an upbeat, warm, heartfelt show. I think it's perfect for anybody for after going through this.
It's a perfect antidote to what we've just been through.
Perfect.
So get to the
Exactly.
theater. It opens again, no, previews
Previews.
October 21st. And it opens on December 5th, and you can get tickets at telecharge. Barbara, thank you so much for coming to do this. It's such a pleasure to meet you. And it's a joy to know that you've brought so many shows to the theater that I adored.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely adored.
I'm thrilled, and I'm happy that you've got similar taste and like the shows that I've produced.
Me too.
Right.
So
And I like them all. I'm really everyone that I've produced. I'm happy about. I love Memphis a lot, and I love Mrs. Doubtfire. I just really adore
I think it's
it.
going to be your favorite.
I think so. I
think
just
Mrs.
adore.
Doubtfire is going to be your favorite.
Yeah.
So you'll have to come back when you've got something new, or when you want to talk more about your cabaret in London.
Okay. Yes, I'll let you know about that. One more thing. I think Face in the Crowd is going to be when it comes.
Oh my God!
Probably in 22.
You've got so much cooking, I can't ever remember it all. I kind of you get my brain joggled. How do you keep it all straight?
I don't know, but it's fun because I have, just as an ending, I have a show that's been on Broadway, Jagged Little Pill, a show that's in previews, Mrs. Doubtfire, a show that is not yet open, The Thoughts of a Colored Man, the Theater Cafe, which is something different, but is musical, for musical theater lovers, it's insane. And the final thing is A Face in the Crowd, which is going to happen, but is a little more into the future.
I just
So-
still can't imagine how you're going to make a musical out of that one, so I can't wait to
Oh,
see
I
it.
can't wait for you to see it. It's going to Elvis Costello.
We're out of time. I love you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Peace.